The Owl Hous Season 3 got shortened and a lot of storylines had to be cut, thus many questions remained unanswered even after the finale. So this is 5 still unsolved mysteries in The Owl Hous. Number 5. Evelyn. Season 2 episode 16 Hollow Mind is over a year old already. It's the highest rated episode on IMDb, and with its classic 22-minute screen time it has been able to tell a story like no other episode could, except maybe for the future. The story of the Whitman brothers was also further hinted at in Season 3 episodes 1 and 2. In Thanks to Them, Masha tells an urban legend about the brothers, and one of the main characters is Evelyn, a witch who Caleb fell in love with. Thanks to Rebecca Rose, a production associate on the show and a former YouTuber, we're able to see all pictures from Hollow Mind in good quality, including those ones with Evelyn. However, while the general story is pretty much clear, what's not very pointed out is Flapjack's origins. In Thanks to Them, Bellows says goodbye Evelyn when trying to kill Flapjack, but in the Season 2 finale King's Tide he remembers about Caleb instead, confirming his name. Well, back in Thanks to Them, it is implied that it was Evelyn who carved Flapjack and gifted him to Caleb, perhaps even as a wedding gift. Bellows likely remembers Evelyn because he thinks that she corrupted his brother, and it's all her fault. It was also likely Evelyn who hid the portal door after the death of her husband. Not to mention, the show hints at Evelyn being a Clawthorn, and even though it didn't get confirmed in the finale, you can spot a similar appearance to Ida and Gwendolyn, and the fact that the portal door was basically hidden in Ida's backyard. The full story of the Whitman brothers is something very popular in the community, especially after a row of awesome fan animations, so that could be a potential topic for a spin-off if it was ever to happen. Number 4. Bat Queen's Owner. Continuing with Palisman mysteries, the Bat Queen's owner was mentioned in Season 1 episode 10, where it was revealed that she is actually a palisman and takes care of those like herself. She says that she's been part of the staff that's been made for a giant, but then it was broken and discarded. She forgot what happened to her owner as it's been thousands of years now, and because of her trauma she makes sure other abandoned palismen find home with her. That giant which the Bat Queen is talking about is likely not the Titan, as we know that palismen are made from palistrum wood, which grows on the Isles, which are the Titan himself, so the first palisman was carved long after most Titans had died out. We also never saw a Titan have a palisman, neither in the pictures nor alive. And honestly, they don't really need one considering how powerful Titans are, and that they even have wings. Although I believe this might be a rather minor storyline, the Bat Queen has largely caught viewers' attention despite appearing only in a few episodes. The Titan may have been planned to be Bat Queen's original owner, however due to the show's cancellation the lore had to be changed, and that mystery remains unsolved because of shortened Season 3. Number 3. Matt Samuel and Steve. From the moment Steve took off his mask, the fans knew there was a strong resemblance to Matt Samuel. Also, can someone please teach me in the comments how to pronounce his name? Like, my tongue just doesn't cooperate with me. But yeah, it was later confirmed by Dana Terrace on Twitter that they are supposed to be half-brothers, and that's one of the smaller storylines they wouldn't be able to fit, again because of the Season 3 shortening. What's never got explained is who their parents are. Did Steve and Matt Samuel get separated, or do they actually keep in touch with each other, and just generally how they live. And again, such side stories would very well fit into some spin-off or a graphic novel, which I'm sure Disney will have to make either of these at some point, considering the recent popularity of the show. Perhaps a few years will have to pass, but imagine how happy and surprised the entire fanbase will be when they see the announcement. Number 2. The Owl Beast Collector. The finale revealed lots of new info about the collector's species, which I'm gonna discuss later on the channel, but let's remember that in Season 2 episode 8, one of the most significant episodes of the series, we've seen another collector trying to catch the original Owl Beast, which later turned into a curse. We can tell that it's a different collector since he is taller and wears different claws, much resembling our collector's siblings. However, in the credits he is mentioned as the collector, but I assume it's either likely that the lore got changed again a bit during the season's production, or all archivists actually can be referred to as collectors. That's actually a part of the mystery, but what interests me is the time period when it's happening. The place is clearly the Titan Traverse Island, which is indicated by the skull in the background. But since the Titan is already dead, I have two options. The first one is that it's happening post-Collector-Titan War, and one of the Collector's siblings came back to revisit the planet and check what new unique preservable species were formed there. That's also how the Titan Trappers learned about the Collector's existence and started worshipping him. The second one is just that it's happening right during the Collector-Titan War, so while the Archivists are exterminating the Titans, they're also keen to take some life forms with them. A spin-off about Archivists and the Collector is definitely the one I like to watch the most, since they've been introduced in nearly the last episode of the series, so they still have incredible potential. Number 1, and my favorite mystery of the show, even though the least significant one, the blinking owl eye. In the very last shot of the very first episode of the series, the eye serving as the window in the Owl House actually blinks, suggesting that houses on the Boiling Isles may be alive. And I thought that was a scene the writers were gonna develop, since the Owl House is not the only building with eye-shaped windows. However, it never got mentioned later in the series and even got forgotten, so either that was done just for a dramatic episode ending, or they backed down on some initial cool idea. Season 3 definitely felt a little rushed, but that's understandable considering the conditions the creator and writers were put into. But I hope we get answers to some of the questions in the coming post-hoot with a few cast members, Rebecca Rose, and of course Dana Terrace herself. I mentioned far not all mysteries and questions that could have been answered in the show, so comment down below what answers you want to get, and whether I should make a similar video. But the video I definitely made is explaining the ending, as even after watching it, you may have a few questions, which some of them I explain.